So, ich hoffe, das Lecken gar nicht so aufgehört. Also, herzlich willkommen zurück zu einem neuen Sherlock Holmes Spiel, nämlich das Testament von Sherlock Holmes. Sorry. Ich wollte ja gestern noch Resident Evil spielen, aber das Spiel muss erstmal gedownloadet werden, weshalb ich jetzt Sherlock Holmes mal wieder spiele. Es geht gleich noch weiter. So. Ich weiß nicht, was in dem Spiel passieren wird. Also, ich war auf neues Spiel. Ein Aquarium.
Ow! Ah! What's this? No! Bow, bow, boop, boop. La la la. Ooh. Oh, look! It's a book! Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map. No, I don't think so. I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle. And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898, when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be... I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
Ah, you see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
A matter of course? In the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants. They dress quickly and come running, but the door is locked and there is a strong smell of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham, arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
Also ich habe ja jetzt schon insgesamt 4 Sherlock Holmes Spiele gespielt. Und dieser Sherlock Holmes gerade sieht aus wie der Bösewicht aus Barbie und der Schwanensee. Also von den Gesichtszügen her. Das ist ja auch so eine ganz komische Geschichte. Ja, aber ich freue mich mal wieder in einer Geschichte mit Sherlock Holmes zu sein. Ach du Schande. Mit der Steuerung muss ich doch wahrscheinlich noch
This
etwas
window
klarkommen.
was cut with a diamond, a clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
Ich hoffe, dass das Spiel nicht zu laut ist und ja, im Allgemeinen halt gut passt. Ein Aquarium. Dahinter ist nichts. Die Schritte, wenn er sich so dreht, die sind laut. Okay, Schrittgeräusche leiser drehen. Ah, ja. Optionen. Soundeffekte. Gibt es als Soundeffekt? Da ist aber noch laut. Ah, so kann ich Charaktere wechseln. So renne ich. In der Untersuchungsmodus hier ist, sich nun beide Hinweise genauer an. Ich habe Messer dabei, ich habe Streichhölzer dabei. So wie es aussieht. Aber wie komme ich in den Untersuchungsmodus? Ist das? Das Vermächtnis. Ich muss irgendwas machen. Oh, hier kann ich die Alter, wie viele Trophäen gibt es denn? In den Untersuchungsmodus für mehrere Objekte gelangen Sie mit X, um durch die benutzt sie welche Hinweis? Ah, Ego-Perspektive. Wie komme ich in den Untersuchungsmodus? Von Gegenstand ansehen, Perspektive wechseln, Aktion zurück, Winter öffnen. Hauptmenü, gehen, nächste Rennen. Das steht überhaupt nicht drin, wie ich ins Untersuchungsmodus komme.
This window was cut with a diamond, a clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
Und ich habe es auch so gemacht, dass die Sprache, die ausgesprochen wird, Englisch ist und die gesagt wird,
All
Deutsch.
the windows are locked. They've not been forced. A mark,
Das war's.
undoubtedly made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted. This window was cut.
See how
This
kann ich?
window.
see
This
Okay.
window.
see
Nein. So, wirklich Lupe. Wie kann ich das aktivieren? Es liegen einige Notblätter. Okay.
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
Such sie nach Hinweisen. Ah, ist das ein Hinweis?
Nothing of interest here.
Nee. Natürlich nicht.
These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
Zurück zum Extra-Perspektive Viereck. Okay, scheinbar ist das jetzt
A candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier.
Tutorial. Jetzt hab ich's. Das ist doch irgendwas.
These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
Da ist doch was.
Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
Dung. Kann ich daran? Wie kann ich? Ich hoffe nicht rumzudrehen, das ist ja grauenhaft.
Footprints. You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire.
Die Fußschritte sind so laut.
The chest wasn't opened. The necklace wasn't in it. Strange. There
Nein, ich will das andere. Die Schnur. Ja,
The fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started. Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once?
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
so, gibt's hier noch irgendwas?
Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface.
Ja, ein Fisch.
This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the draft screen and waited until he was alone in the room. Strange, there aren't any prints, yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
What do you think, Holmes?
Let us search the room before the police get here. We might throw some light onto all this.
Habe ich hier noch irgendwas? Scheinbar habe ich... Was war das gerade für Geräusch? Das hab ich. Recht durch die
When
Tür.
the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. You're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry, always in the nick of time. Ah, but I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
The only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I am pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well, then. Explain.
Dr. Watson was correct when he mentioned acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
I don't know. Because he is very small? Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small and remarkably agile.
You're thinking of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt, a Leontopithecus rosalia from Central America. The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained. The monkey emerged from his hiding place and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney, but knocked over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard and started the fire. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor, before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle. Finally, the servants and the Marquis. The confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes.
And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson. A poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now.
Das ist eine schöne Perlenkette.
Marquis, here is your necklace, intact, just a little wet.
Mr. Holmes, this brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I recognize it. I have spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box and...
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
There, the necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
Irgendwie ist da ganz schön viel Gerede. Aber vielleicht ist das nur der Anfang. Vielleicht kann ich auch noch irgendwann gut rumlaufen.
This morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
Kann ich jetzt rumlaufen? Ah, das schöne Zimmer von Sherlock Holmes. Was ist das denn? Ist das die Decke, die sich da spiegelt? Tobi! Wo ist der Hund? Ah ja. Ich kann wieder in Watsons Zimmer rein. Ja, geil. Das stört mich aber ein bisschen, wenn hier die ganzen Spiegelungen sind am Boden und an der anderen Sache. Deswegen, nicht so gut. Ich meine, wenn der Boden wirklich so hochgradig poliert wurde, fliegt man doch erst recht hin. Bei Verkleidungstisch, aber mein Schrank ist weg. Ich habe keinen Kleiderschrank. Auf Balkon komme ich auch nicht. Der Analysetisch. Wo ist der? Club Explorer. Auf dem Fiasko. Schien. Holmes hat ihn doch extra noch gefragt, ob er sich vergewissern will, dass die Perlen auch echt sind. Und er hat's abgelehnt. Oh, Arsène Lupin. Den Fresse. Lubor. Nee, wie wird es ausgesprochen? Lubin? Lubor? Ah. Inspektor Lestrade ist krank, deshalb ist dort ein Inspektor Baines. Ich habe schon überlegt, warum Baines und nicht Lestrade. Der an den Drogen? Was, Herr Holmes, der wissen, ob es eine Fälschung ist oder nicht? Oh, Farley.
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation?
Hallo?
You know what?
Elü?
Wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector.
So.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the thinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that, Rag?
Ich spiele gerade das Testament von Sherlock Holmes.
Mhm.
Halskette.
I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
War das nicht richtig und muss ich alles andrücken?
Inspector, can you explain this slander?
Wer weiß.
Really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace. I to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible. I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes, before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
Ey, die Gesichter von dem Teil, ne, die sehen so komisch aus.
And the Marchioness?
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
What a lovely marriage.
Der muss alles untersuchen.
Forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewelry?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector.
Be my guest.
Very well.
Ich kann das so genötigt werden, die Kette so untersuche. Ach du Scheiße. Uiuiuiui. Das ist so. Warum kann ich die Decke drehen? Und vor allem, das sieht ja aus, als wäre es, wie heißen die Dinger nochmal? So diese 3D 360-Grad-Kameras. Das sieht so aus, als wäre es so eine Kamera hier gewesen und jetzt muss ich einfach nur die Sache angucken. Und warum kann ich... Nee.
These 3 pearls are of poor quality.
Die Perle ist kleiner.
This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
Öffnet.
Absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson.
So.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes.
Ja, geil, aber ich kann beide spielen.
The work table, where Holmes analyzes things.
Wird so oft für solche
Holmes'
rumliegen.
homemade analyzer. I have found your map.
Ja, das ist die Karte. Baker Street. Ja, was Diöses, nicht. Warum sind die Worte immer so schwer auszusprechen? Diöse? Diöses?
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes. Yes, of course. But come in.
So wie der rumrennt, ist der bestimmt
What
tot.
has happened, Reverend?
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God. How horrible. I haven't called anyone. How did you know that?
Holmes, look!
The Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
How dreadful.
Mutilated. And killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We are here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave. And not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Reverend, when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Out of the question. I don't even know you. I'm going to call the police, whether you like it or not.
It would be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one. Therefore, we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen. And indeed, it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson. Do continue.
Ja, der erste Mordfall. Was, Rechnung? Ermittlungen, Mord am Bischof von Knightsbridge. Besaß keine. Okay, Sie steuern Sherlock Holmes.
This stove is filled to overflowing.
Bitte nicht. Ah, ich muss die mir kommen. Ah, die Finger. Oh.
Ja, ich komplett, naja, direkt verrecke hier.
Oh. Ah, oh.
Natürlich. Das ist jetzt das scheiß Auge, du.
Quite evidently, they weren't made recently.
So, these wounds were not made by his murderers. Have been torn off. What do you think, Watson?
Boah, das erinnert mich an Wrong Turn.
Ist doch geil.
Nee. Boah, Alter, das hier. Nee.
The fingers have been crushed and violently struck.
Ey, wie die Finger. Wir werden nicht über die Fessel reden.
A piece of rope that was used to tie up that poor man.
Wer tut sowas? Wer ist so brutal und bricht jemand so die Finger?
Ich könnte noch einen anderen fragen, aber ja.
Hat er keine Augen?
Nein.
His mouth is covered in blood, and I can make out strips of skin between.
Ne, das bringt nichts.
My dear friend, everything points to this man having gnawed at his own forearms.
That's unbelievable, Holmes.
Das ist seine Boah, du
His
bist
chest has
schlecht.
been lacerated, I would say, with a very sharp and fine blade.
Kein Wunder, dass das Spiel erst ab 18 ist.
These burns are terrible.
This poor man was tied just below the knees.
To stop him from walking, certainly, but mostly to free his feet.
His feet have been burned.
My first impression is that he wears a size 9 shoe.
You? But what does it matter, Holmes? My God, Holmes, this man was horribly tortured.
A finger. Apparently, it doesn't belong to the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
How dreadful.
Warum liegt dort ein abgetrennter Finger? Habe ich alles untersucht?
Something is missing here.
Oh, yes? And what might that be?
His shoes. Watson, his shoes are missing.
A broken bottle of whiskey. However, the Bishop of Knightsbridge was known for his sobriety.
A bottle of whiskey. I can make out fingerprints stained with blood and dirt.
It would seem that the brutes who tortured the bishop to death were intoxicated with alcohol.
There is blood on this paperweight. This paperweight was used to crush the victim's fingers. A broken file and blood near the neck.
What a strange smell. Chemical components, I think. whip?
Eine Peitsche.
No, it is a discipline for self-flagellation.
Was ist
This
das?
metal
Nö.
rod
Nö.
is for fastening the
Nope.
chilies. It's a cilice designed to bruise the person wearing it. The bishop wore it as repentance. This very pious man must have had the habit of mortifying his flesh as a means of repentance.
Okay.
The picture of Peregrine Maitland, commander of the infantry brigade of Her Majesty's Guards
Waterloo.
at Waterloo.
The Bishop of Knightsbridge has the same name as his ancestor, an illustrious family.
Was ist da drin?
I am missing some information. Reverend,
Okay.
I'm missing something, an implement with which to open this chest. Could you tell me where to find it?
No, go to the devil.
What are you afraid of? What is inside the chest?
I'm not afraid of anything. In fact, I do have the necessary implements. But if I have to give them to anyone, it will be to a representative of the law and no one else.
Da unten sind Spuren.
What do you think, Holmes?
Nein, ich will nicht mit Watson sprechen.
Watch where you're putting your feet, Watson. Have you noticed these prints upon the ground?
Well, yes, those muddy marks.
See here, Watson. Footprints can often provide more vital information than the very best of informants.
Yes, if you know how to make them talk, that is.
It's child's play, Watson. We will begin by excluding the contaminating prints, which are yours and mine from where we came in, and those of our dear Reverend who were so impatient to call the police.
Frage? Um wie viel handelt es sich?
I need something. I need something. A fragment of stone. Peculiar.
Die sieht gleich aus der Schuhe.
Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers. This print came from an expensive pair of shoes, and it seems recent. It is not a labourer's shoe. Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers. Well-worn shoes with an odd pattern on the soles. Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers.
Kriminelle 1, 2, 4?
I need something.
Der hat Schuhgröße. Das ist
Size 9.
Größe 9.
Size 9.
Ist alles Größe 9?
Size 9. Size 9 and a half. Size 9. Size 9 and a half.
Okay, also. Was auf ein Mann schießt zu dem ich habe das schon. Ja, irgendwie. Nee. Das ein Mann schließt die Männer, die sich preis im Raum befanden.
That's not right. Start again.
Okay, dann eben nicht. Ich habe das schon.
That's not right. Start again.
Sag mir nicht, dass das
That's
ist.
not right.
Ach,
Start
zum
again.
Glück.
I need. Strange but true. One of the crooks was wearing a different pair of shoes when he left here.
Wie viel Kriminelle handelt es sich? 4?
That's not right. Start again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kann aber auch die 6 sein.
That's not right. Start
Nee.
again.
Das ist 5.
That's not right. Start again.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
That's not right. Start again.
Ich bin so schlecht darin. Sind es 3?
Perfect. We now
3.
know that there were 3 crooks. Therefore,
Wer
we know
weiß.
who came in and left again. But one of them was wearing a
Wie,
different
ich hab
pair
6
of
Punkte.
shoes from the ones which he came in with.
So,
Was spielst
all
du
we
denn?
have to do is look for a workman who
Teilt
likes
sie das?
Italian shoes.
Mhm.
So, gibt's hier noch. Da gibt's was. Ins Gelbe.
A surgical scalpel
Yeah.
covered in blood. There isn't any doubt. The wounds on the bishop were administered with this scalpel.
Closed. The veranda door hasn't been forced. Strange. Reverend, might I have the key?
No! You have no authority here. Let me call the police.
Perhaps we should listen to him, Holmes.
Perhaps you should let me get on with this, Watson. Closed.
Ach, schade. Von
This
dort
door
kann.
has not been forced. Where does it lead, Reverend?
To His Excellency's room. There is just a mattress and a stool.
The bishop's bedroom. It is very austere. Nothing in particular here.
Ist da was Interessantes? Ne? Schade. Okay, es hat den Typen zu
You
befragen.
have no right to search here.
Okay, er will nicht treten. Wie mache ich das mal auf? Dreieck. Der Dachschuh fehlt. Die Schuhe des Bischofs fehlen. Schuhe. Er das wird er. Aber warum? Das Schuh. Schuhverkäufer. Reichtum. Der hat nichts. Nebenzimmer. Durchsucht. So? Na, es geht doch weiter runter. Tresor. Die Tresors öffnen. Folter. Folter und Buße. Hat sich Kasteit Schmerzen gewohnt. Eigentlich nicht, weil er Schmerz ja gewohnt war. Oh, das ist richtig. Das ist das hier falsch.
Geil, Bosskampf.
Verlassen, Alter, was schuf. Nee. Das scheint auch nicht richtig zu sein. Ich tu mal weiter runter scrollen. Bischof. Selbstgebisse. Schon auf. Da habt ihr. Ja, das hier. Das Trinken. Ach, das scheint doch nicht korrekt zu sein.
Perfect. It is evident that the Bishop of Knightsbridge's killers were after something specific, and that they did not find it. Reverend, I shall ask you one more time. Open the chest. The item they were seeking must still be inside. It is unlikely that they will let this matter rest. They will most certainly return to finish what they started.
And I'm telling you once more, The chest is locked and shall remain so.
Very well. We have reached an impasse. You are a stubborn man, Reverend. Watson, accompany our friend to the police station and return with Inspector Baines. Baines and no one else. I shall wait for you here. Go. Alone at last. Now I can continue my investigation. I need something.
So kann ich das jetzt aufknacken.
Alone at last. Now I can continue my investigation.
Habe ich... Oh, wie heißt das nochmal? Dietriche. Habe ich Dietriche? Das kann ich aber auch noch nicht öffnen, weil ich das Ding nicht habe.
I am missing some information.
Habe ich Dietriche? Ach cool, ich habe eine Trophäe bekommen. Muss ich zur Baker Street oder wieder zurück? Nadel. Nee. Warum habe ich hier abgetrennten Finger im Inventar?
Die brauchst du.
This lock should be easy to pick.
Was?
Let's see.
Ja, ich kann das Schloss aufknacken. Das ist neu. Das geht nach unten, das geht nach oben und das geht noch weiter nach oben.
There we are. It is simplicity itself. There isn't anything much in this room. It must be used as a reading or meditation room. An ink stain, quite fresh. This stain is just on the edge of the rug.
My side.
Let's see. There is nothing on the floor. Yet the ink must have soaked through the rug.
Ein interessanter Name hast du. Und willkommen zum Livestream. Was da unten? Ich habe nicht aufgepasst.
Wird sterben. Nein.
This inkwell was tipped over recently.
Oh Mann.
Warte, wenn dort die Tinte umgeschmissen wurde, warum ist der Tintenfleck dann auf der anderen Seite?
Magic.
Der Magic. Ja.
Ink stain. The ink stain on the floor comes from the ink on the rug. But they are not in the same
Gut, okay, hier stimmt was
Someone
nicht.
has moved them.
Gut.
Da
Was
unten
da?
liegt doch was. Ein Taschentuch?
Apparently someone wanted to hide this statue. This horse resembles a large chess piece. There is a message underneath this statue. Let's see.
Unbekannt. Mangelt es dir an Vorstellungskraft? Du bist doch ein leidenschaftlicher Schachspieler. Das heißt, oh Mann, nachdem alle anderen Fette das sich gelassen haben. Das ist richtig. Ich liebe dich. Okay. Komische
This
Nachricht.
message was written by a woman, but for whom was it intended? Interesting, this chess game.
So, erstmal den Teppich.
ink stain on the
Nein!
floor
Ah,
comes from the
nicht den
ink on the-
Teppich. Teppich.
That is curious. There is something strange on the floor. Certain stones have been marked out, just like a chessboard. That is curious. I need
Okay, es muss ich das Pferd ausrüsten. Muss ich jetzt alles grün machen? So. Dorthin. Dorthin. Hierhin. Dort. 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 Ich kenne mich zwar nicht mit Schach aus, aber ich weiß, dass ein Pferd über den L-Form springen kann. Das ist aber auch das Einzige, was ich weiß. Dorthin. Dorthin. Und dorthin. Was
This
richtig?
last piece should be the good one. It will have to be pulled free. I need something.
Ah. Beliebswahrscheinlich. Und ich weiß es nicht. Oh, wahrscheinlich. Alles Reverend. Oh, steht schon dort.
A packet of letters addressed to the Reverend. They were written by a woman who mentions his illegitimate children. Their affair isn't official. Perfect. I have you now, my wayward Reverend.
Schön.
Watson, you were gone a terribly long time, and Inspector Baines isn't with you.
I'm afraid not, Holmes. We were unable to find him.
Dr. Watson would not allow me to contact any inspector other than this Baines. What manners! I am a man of the church.
My dear Reverend, I notice that you are a chess lover. I trust you will excuse me, but I am never able to resist the appeal of a half-finished game.
You are an expert at chess. Very well then. What do you want now?
As you might have guessed, resolving your small chess problem has allowed me to discover some very interesting letters.
Letters? What do they say?
Reverend, why hide these letters here and run the risk of the bishop finding them?
Holmes, what's in the letters?
Not now, Watson.
Where else could I have hidden them? My own chambers are too austere. They could offer no cover. I knew, however, that His Excellency, may he rest in peace, would not notice my game.
The contents of the Bishop of Knightsbridge's chest interest me greatly. Give me the elements.
Out of the question.
Oh Gott, Besteche, Erpresse oder Drohne.
With the bishop no more, you are therefore the apostolic director of the diocese, are you not?
Well, yes, but only until someone else is appointed.
I am certain that the Honourable Bishop of York, whom I have the privilege of knowing well enough for him to listen to what I have to say, would recognize your qualities for the post.
If I receive new responsibilities, it will be through my faith and devotion, nothing else.
Fein, durch dich eben erpressen, ist mir doch egal.
I'm a gentleman, and it would distress me to be obliged to pass this correspondence across to your superiors.
Holmes, I know that the end justifies the means, but allow me to express some reservations about how you are proceeding.
You say you're a gentleman, but I hear nothing but the words of a blackmailer. The stems that you are looking for are scattered about this room. Manage by yourself.
Es hat geklappt, ich hab dir einfach mal erpresst. Warum nicht? Passt eigentlich schon alles? Nee, hier sind doch ein paar.
impossible to get out.
Das Fenster habe ich am Anfang gar nicht gesehen. So, habe ich das. War das alles?
Evidently, as I always do. What are you able to tell us about the Bishop of Knightsbridge's last days? Did anyone come to visit him? Did he seem worried, anxious? Do not omit the smallest detail.
His nephew came to see him yesterday at His Excellency's request. I found this visit a little peculiar because the young man rarely visits his uncle.
Do you know why that might be? Were they on bad terms?
I don't think so. It's rather a consequence of his work. The young man is employed within the archive section of the Royal Library, which doesn't leave him with a lot of free time.
Do you know the reason for his summons?
No, but the conversation was very heated. It only lasted for a few minutes and ended with the nephew in a terrible rage.
Interesting.
I've answered your questions. Will you now let me contact the authorities?
I'm afraid not, Reverend. Not just yet. All right, now we can open the safe.
Die Sprachanimationen sind ein bisschen komisch, genauso wie die Gesichtsanimationen. Was soll ich machen?
Keine Ahnung. Scheiße. Nee.
Hä?
Impossible to open it.
Soll ich jetzt einfach erraten, wo die Dinge hinkommen? Das war's nicht. Das wird deswegen dauern. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wo die Dinge kommen. Oh. Ja. Ah, verstehe. Ne? Okay, auf schwarz und weiß. Ich verstehe gar nichts. Wie ich das hier mache. Ah, okay. Shit. Ähm. Hm. Ich das dorthin setze. Ach, ist das falsch? Hm. Das ist echt das. Ach, nee, ich bin. Nein. Nein! Ich wollte es dorthin setzen. So, das kommt dort. Das kommt. Das dort nicht. Dann hier. Ah, doch nicht. Hab ich könnte. Ich Kerzensätze und ist jetzt gar nichts mehr. Ich darf auf gar keinen Fall überspringen. Hier die Reihe ist doch frei. Hier geht's nicht. Dort nicht. Dort nicht. Dort nicht. Dort nicht. Dort nicht. Dort nicht. Okay, also. Dorthin, dorthin. 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 Ah. Ah. Ha. Ich und Schach. Dort nicht, hier hin. Mann, ich bekomme das gerade gar nicht hin. So. 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 Das letzte.
Now I can open the chest.
Yes!
Here we are. I am
Tresorknacker.
eager to discover what remarkable treasure could justify such an act of barbarity.
Extraordinary.
This chest is impenetrable. How is it possible? No one other than the bishop should be able to open it.
You open the chest with disconcerting ease, Holmes.
I've seen and heard quite enough. This time you won't stop me.
Catch him, Watson.
What the?
But why?
Run, Watson. Hurry.
He's escaped. I hope that your motivations are founded, Holmes. I don't much like skirting around the edges of the law like this.
It is annoying. Let's leave without delay.
What have you found in the chest, Holmes? What in there is so precious for these men to commit such terrible acts?
The Reverend was telling the truth. Nothing important was locked inside the chest, apart from a few religious items which are hardly worth stealing.
So, we haven't made any headway. Perhaps the police will.
By the time the police arrive, we shall be a long way from here, Watson. We are leaving.
Ich will auch sehen, was da drin ist. Ach, du willst die Ressource.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Let us return to Baker Street as quickly as possible.
Okay, bye. Oh, so Baker Street. Ich habe doch gerade Baker Street gedrückt. Warum das gerade nicht gegolten hat? Ui.
We have crossed London at a breakneck speed. We could have knocked someone over, and naturally I had to pay the cabbie out of my own pocket.
Watson, stop complaining. We have to analyze the clues found at the bishop's house.
Automatische Speicherung.
No, it is unnecessary.
Ich will die Film. Oh, der Film wurde abgebissen.
Marks, rather deep ones. I'd say of incisors and a canine. I can't do that.
Okay, was soll ich jetzt mit den Fingern machen?
Tooth marks, rather deep. I haven't finished my analysis. Tooth.
Oh, ich will.
I can't do that.
Kevin?
Hm?
Ich darf mir gerade einen abgebissenen Finger untersuchen.
Warum nicht?
Fragments of skin. A phalanx. This finger wasn't cut off. It was ripped off. I can see something. I can see something. No, I can't.
Ich habe echt keine Lust, die Finger zu untersuchen. Bäh.
I haven't finished my analysis. No, I can't do that.
Vielleicht mal noch Schere? Oder mit dem Skalpell?
Black and damp earth under the nail. Interesting.
Ah, okay.
Tooth marks, rather.
Ich hoffe, es ist gerade niemand, der den Stream zuguckt.
I can see something.
Was ist das?
Ich hoffe, es ist gerade keiner, der den Stream zuguckt.
Das ist ein Problem.
No, I can't do that.
Ach so?
No, I can't do. I haven't finished my
Ey,
analysis.
ich wollte nicht zurückgehen.
Tooth mark. I can see something.
Ich sehe etwas. Ja, schön. Was siehst du denn? Pinzette.
Bite marks on this severed finger. I am afraid of the significance.
The thieves didn't get what they wanted. When they were faced with the bishop's refusal to cooperate, one of the gang shook his finger at him to indicate that he was responsible for his unfortunate state.
And the poor man, whose head was the only part of him not bound by ropes, bit the finger violently enough to sever it. An uncommonly savage act.
Watson, I am certain that when we have explained the reasons behind this sudden bestiality, we will have revealed a larger part of the mystery.
Jo, was für eine scheiß Krabbe, du.
No, I can't do that. This fragment of
Was haben wir hier?
and it seems to be of a peculiar quality.
Nein.
I shall have to strip it with one of my products.
Zweifel?
No, I can't do that.
Okay. Wasser?
No, I can't do that.
Nein. Pinsel?
This stone is granite covered in black paint.
Okay.
I have cut a small piece off the rope. That should be enough.
Skalpell.
No, I can't do that.
Gut, eben nicht. Pinzette.
A lot of fragments of black stone are wedged into this rope. Their color seems unnatural, but they are too small for me to examine them. These small stones resemble the pieces found in the footprints at the bishop's house. Granite painted black. Black and damp earth. I must only worn on one side.
Okay.
There is something written on this scalpel. No, I can't do that.
WCCH.
No, I can't do that.
Pinsel?
Ah, I can make out WCCH. What do the initials stand for? How many hospitals are there in the Whitechapel area, Watson?
If we count public dispensaries, enough to keep us busy for an entire month. Did this scalpel come from a hospital?
Yes, as the initials WCCH engraved upon it show us.
Whitechapel?
Best to deal with this. We do not have the time to investigate every hospital in Whitechapel.
WC könnte Whitechapel heißen.
And if I mix this earth with another substance, now it must all be stirred.
Verrührt? Mit einem Pinsel oder mit einer Pinzette?
No, I can't. The samples of earth taken from beneath the fingernail and from the ropes originate from the same place.
How do you know?
It took just a little water to analyze the consistency. The soil has retained its moisture, even though there hasn't been rain in London for over a week.
This soil could come from the bank of a river, or somewhere where the evaporation is slower. A mine, perhaps, or a trench.
The banks of the Thames are clay soil, unlike our samples, so we can rule that out. The nearest mines are 12 miles away, so I would rule that out also. I would therefore conclude your last theory to be nearer the mark.
A trench?
A pit. Watson, bring me your register of the London hospitals.
Studying the scalpel has given you an idea, then?
Indeed.
I'll get it.
Was ist das? Der Leder, der gefällt.
Read the paper, Holmes.
Wo ist dieser? Ach du Schande, so viele Sachen.
Hospitals and dispensaries in London. I have found my book, Holmes.
Good. Put it on the work table, will you?
Was ist hier sonst noch?
General practitioner. That won't be of any use to me. Female anatomy. I should put this book somewhere else.
Was
And
dort?
this is how my dear friend and colleague treats his clients' letters.
Ist ja schon bei Krabs Punishments gesehen, dass die Briefe mit einem Messer. Nein, nicht reingehen. Ah. Dass die Briefe mit einem Messer
The
auf den.
harpoon that was used to kill Black Peter. A horrible murder.
Das ist eine Anspielung auf den ersten Teil von Crimes and Punishments. Krass.
Ja, boah, ey, voll krass, ey.
Ja, boah, ey, geil. Der erste Fall von Crimes and Punishments war Mord am Schwarzen Peter und ist genau das.
There's no point in going there.
Ja.
I have found my book, Holmes.
Good. Put it on the work table, will you?
Wieso ich
I
gerade?
have found my...
Good.
Hä? Auf welchem Arbeitstisch? Was hier?
I have found...
Good.
I have found...
Good.
Hä? Welcher Arbeitstisch? Das ist der Arbeitstisch. Oder? Warte. Buch. Geht's jetzt?
Here is the section showing Whitechapel. I made several notations on these pages during our investigation into the Ripper, which might prove useful. All we need to do is to find a hospital or a public dispensary near a location where pits have been dug and black granite has been used.
It's simplicity itself. I haven't finished my analysis.
So. Wurde ein Zeichen sicher, dass du eine Zeit ausgefranst war. Nee. Bei der Analyse wurde feuchte schwarze Erde gefunden. Da das Fußabdruck. Was schaust du bei Steuerobjekte? Das kann ich. Dort ist ein Gebäude. Die Erde des Todes war von einem Grab produziert wird. Grabsteinmanufaktur. Das ist was wir Beispiel. Nein. Oh, das war falsch. Die Erde stammt aus einer Grube. Schwarze Granitmauer. Das Gebäude neben. Das erste vom Grab, das saniert wird. Großteil. Granitsteinbruch.
I am missing some information. I am missing some information.
Granitsteinbruch? Nee. Ja, Flussbett. Schon Grube. Staffel Schwarz. Granitmauer. Von einem Gebäude. Nee, das hier. Das ist nicht richtig. Granitfragment mit schwarzer Farbe. Stein auf einer schwarzen bemalten Granitmauer. Was will ich Steinobjekt nehme? Grube oder Steinobjekt?
Now I can make the right decision.
Ah. Grab. Also in der Nähe vom Friedhof.
The public dispensary number 4661. It's just opposite the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
Yes, Watson. The murderer with the missing finger must work in the cemetery, or at least visit it. He could have taken a rope, one of the type they use to lower the coffins into the graves. The granite is minute particles of tombstone.
And he only had to cross the road to steal a scalpel from the dispensary office.
Yay, ich hab's gelöst. Also muss ich jetzt zum Friedhof. Schon mal zum Friedhöfe. Ja, cool, muss ich doch nicht. Muss ich erst mit Watson reden?
We must analyze all our clues, Watson.
Okay, da fehlt mir noch irgendwas.
I need something.
Die Erde?
No, it is unnecessary.
Nein.
No, it is
Stein
unnecessary.
ist auch nicht. Das Skalpell?
No, it is unnecessary. No, it is unnecessary.
Muss die zerbrochene Flasche. Oh, ich muss tatsächlich die zerbrochene Flasche untersuchen. Was stand dort? Führen Sie zum Analysieren der Probe die Flüssigkeit Okay. Irgendwas ist gerade explodiert. Zweimal grün, einmal orange. Dreimal weiß. Und zweimal orange. Ah, so funktioniert das. Zweimal grün, einmal blau, einmal orange. Muskel stimulieren. Okay. Dreimal orange, zweimal weiß. Zersetzung des Hautgewebes. Ja, es ist gelb dran. Einmal blau, zweimal grün. Einmal blau, zweimal grün. Muskelstimulierung. Okay. Rot ist dreimal orange und dreimal grün. Dreimal orange und dreimal grün. Aggressiv.
And apparently very virulent.
Was ist denn? So, die Säule.
Poison. Discreet,
Das geht.
efficient, and only detectable via a thorough post-mortem.
Hallo?
Have you been able to isolate the active components, Holmes?
Not with any certainty. This toxic substance surpasses
Kevin
my own
Ochtauer
knowledge
gerade
in the
weg.
field.
Keine Ahnung.
Auch noch da.
The work of
Das ist
an
schön.
expert chemist.
Ich verbrenne gerade nur.
Chemist and a criminal.
Oh,
As you say,
Warum
please
verbrennst
find
du?
my
Ist es so warm bei dir?
poisoners of the last 30 years.
ey, ich hab mal den Dip, den ich gemacht habe, mal ein paar Tage durchziehen lassen. Alter, die frisch geschnittenen Geisterpeperonis, Alter, die entfalten gerade ihr Feuer.
Wow.
Boah. Ich find's aber
Schielmann,
geil.
alias Rattentöter. Oh, Deutschland. Krass. Festnahme in London. Inhaftiert in London. Strafmaß.
Hey, vielleicht Bock auf GTA?
Ah, okay. Ich weiß nicht, ob Kevin dich gehört hat. Als du ihn gefragt hast. Was muss ich jetzt eigentlich machen?
According to these documents, Hans Schielmann, known as the Rat Killer, was considered the greatest specialist in chemical poison in the world.
Is he at liberty?
Happily, no. He has been held in the high-security wing of London's Westgate prison for many years now.
Then he cannot be the one who concocted the poison.
Don't dismiss him too quickly, Watson. According to Scotland Yard, the man is exceptionally intelligent. For the greatest criminals, prison is but a mere obstacle. Let's plan a little visit to see Mr. Shielman tomorrow.
Okay. Das ist der Suspekt. Okay, Deduction Board. Was ist das? Gebiss, Finger. Gift. Der war okay, da muss ich das hier noch so zurückgeworfen und dann funktioniert's.
Perfect. Well done, Watson. Our board is finished. It confirms that the bishop's murderers work for one person, who, amongst other things, possesses a very sophisticated poison. They therefore act for someone more educated than themselves. You remember Wiggins and his gang?
Yay, Trophäe erhalten.
The street urchins, whom you
Oh, doch
employ
eine.
upon occasion, and Wiggins is their leader.
Yes. Well, I have hired their services again. I have instructed them to find out the address of the bishop's nephew.
I think he's here.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, my young friend, have you found the information for which the good Dr. Watson is going to pay you?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, it was easy.
Very well, I understand. Here are a few pennies.
Thanks, Dr. Watson. The man you're looking for lives near Kensington.
Does he live alone?
Yes, but he rents a room for an old lady.
Did she see you?
No, Mr. Holmes. No one saw me.
Perfect. Watson, give our young friend another shilling as a reward for his discretion.
Here we go again. But of course. I'm falling asleep, Holmes. Aren't you tired?
No, I have an exceptional constitution. I can't remember ever having been fatigued by work. Idleness, on the other hand, exhausts me completely. Go to bed, Watson. The night will be short. We leave at dawn.
Watson muss aber auch viel
Wow, this is a
mitmachen.
real adventure. It's exciting. I like it better than made-up stories. I want to know what happens next. Keep reading. I'm going to.
Ich habe vergessen, dass es eine
I
Erzählung
wanna
ist.
listen to. My readers must excuse me if I do not describe in full detail here the terrible images which haunted me that night.
I had a sense that something extraordinary would take place, but I was scarcely prepared for the reality of it.
Ah, es wird doch bestimmt irgendwas passieren.
Good morning, Holmes. Did you get any rest?
I did not attempt to sleep.
Have you managed to come to any conclusions?
I think that we might follow 3 trails. We can visit Whitechapel to try to discover the identity of the murderers by making inquiries at Dispensary 4661 and at the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
The poison trail seems more important to me. We should perhaps go to Westgate Prison first to see Hans Shielman.
Yes, and let us not forget the bishop's irascible nephew, whose address we now have, thanks to my Baker Street irregulars. I have located each place on our map of London.
Holmes, let me remind you that we still have not been officially instructed to investigate this affair.
Ah, well, we will just have to hide that small detail.
So, ist hier schon irgendwo eine neue Nachricht, die mich wieder fertig machen will? Ich weiß, wie man rennt. Ich will aber nicht rennen. Ah, das scheint was Neues zu sein, oder? Yep, Club Explorer. Der Daumen des Ingenieurs.
Nothing interesting.
Bin gespannt, wie es Ende aussieht. Card für Whitechapel. Okay, also gehe ich erstmal ins Gefängnis. Auf ins Gefängnis! Warum ist es so kalt? Es ist ja gerade bei 19 Grad.
I've heard that it is soon going to be demolished. Don't you find it strange that it still houses criminals as dangerous as Hans Schielmann?
There's nothing strange about it, Watson. The name of this prison is linked with numerous failed escape attempts. As long as it stands, the criminals will fear it.
Good morning, gentlemen. Are you expected?
No, but we wish to meet with one of your prisoners, Hans Schielmann.
I'm afraid that at the moment that is impossible. Access to the cells is controlled strictly. You can't go there without permission from the director.
Then would you be so good as to announce us? I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson.
The famous Holmes and Watson. What an honour. My name is Brighton. Frank Brighton. I'm afraid I can't announce you. I'm not allowed to leave my post, under any circumstances. But I'm sure that the director won't refuse to see you, even without an appointment. Do you see the corridor behind the reception? Follow it to the secretary's office. You'll find him there.
Thank you, Warden Brighton. One last thing. Hans Schielmann received any visits lately?
None. And I'm sure because I've dealt with receiving visitors for several weeks now. I volunteered because it's a calm post to be in. We don't get many visitors and it gives me time to write. Just like you, Dr. Watson. I enjoy literature and the...
Very good. Thank you.
That was very impolite, Holmes. That man admires our work. You could have given him...
Another time. Let's go and meet the director of the prison.
Erstmal unterbrechen.
Sorry, sirs. I'm on duty. I can't help you.
This is the entrance to the ordinary prisoner's cell. There's no point in going there.
Ich will mich umgucken. High Security Level.
Leads to the high security area, where the most dangerous prisoners are locked up.
Es sind die gefälligsten unter Boden gesperrt. Geht's hier lang?
Cleaning materials,
Kauf
otherwise known as a broom cupboard. Nothing of interest here.
Ich will trotzdem reingucken.
Closed.
Ach, verdammt. Oh, Chris.
The prison director quickly.
Und wie geht's dir so? Wie war dein Tag so? Sekretariat, was links?
Closed. Closed.
Was machst du gerade, GDR?
Vorbereitung für den Union Depository Auftrag.
Closed.
Also Autohaus Auftrag.
Staff cloakroom.
The locker room. This is where the prisoner's things are kept.
Kann ich reingucken?
Closed.
Verdammt. Wo ist denn das Sekretariat?
Go to the secretary's office.
Ah, ich stehe direkt davor. Warum nicht?
So, Ellie,
Elü?
Excuse me, I dropped off. Good morning,
mir
John.
lief die
What can I
Nase.
do for you?
I am
Wo
Sherlock
lebst du denn?
Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson.
Zum Abgrund der Verdammnis.
Oh mein
Just go and see if I
Gott!
can receive you.
Die Aufstehanimation von der Frau gerade.
Tiredness, pale face, stiffness. I believe that the young lady is expecting a happy event.
It would seem so.
Sie ist schwanger.
This small rack is for urgent letters to be given immediately to the director.
This charming secretary is Miss Jenny Patterson.
Okay.
Hot tea.
Mr. P.
The secretary have the same name.
Ich will auch sagen, dass sie verheiratet sind und das Kind erwarten.
I'm delighted to meet you, Mr. Holmes. I am Paul Patterson, director of this establishment. You wish to talk to me? I hope this unexpected visit isn't to announce bad news.
No, do not worry. We are investigating an affair of the highest importance, one which could potentially affect the security of the kingdom. Therefore, it is imperative that we interview one of your prisoners, Hans Schielmann.
Hans, the rat killer. He's been in here for a long while now, and he's had no contact with the outside. How could he be involved in such an affair?
That is what we would like to find out.
And you have been commissioned by Scotland Yard?
Evidently.
Very well.
Es war gelogen.
I have confidence in you, Mr. Holmes.
Es war
I will draw up
gelogen.
a pass that you should give to Warden James in the guard room. He will show you to the cells.
Thank you, Director.
Keep me informed of your progress. And if there is anything else, don't hesitate to let me know.
Certainly do so.
Familienbande.
Miss Patterson, you have the same name as the director. Are you related?
Come, Watson. Anyone who might have made the slightest study of anthropology would have noted the similarities between the young lady and her father.
Mr. Holmes is right, I am his daughter, but he doesn't like to talk about it. I think he's afraid of being accused of favoritism.
I'm sure it was your qualities alone which secured you this position, miss.
If you must try out your powers as a then what do you say about using them on the rat killer? A goodbye.
Verabschiedung.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Bye. So, wer ist jetzt James? Boah, das ist laut. Bist du James? Ich habe deinen Namen vergessen.
I'm on duty. I can't help you. Sorry, sirs. I'm on
Das war
duty.
nicht
Can't
James.
help you.
Das ist James. War das nicht der Typ?
Ah, you've got a pass for the high security area. It's the door at the end. Go ahead.
Dankeschön.
It is about the signing in book. It is potassium nitrate, isn't it?
Yes. Saltpeter or whatever.
Oh, das ist so cool schon gedreht
This
dafür.
information board is almost empty. Strange, in view of the activity in the prison.
My name is Peter James, Chief Warden, and this is Deputy Warden O'Sullivan.
I imagine I will find Hans Schielmann behind these bars in the basement.
Yes, the high security cells are down there.
Is this the only access?
Yes, there was a second door at the end of the main hall, but it's been blocked up as a security measure.
Thank you, Chief Warden.
At your service. If you require further information, Warden Mackenzie will help you. He's at his post in the basement.
Mr. Holmes, I am a huge admirer of yours. I have followed all your cases and successes with the greatest interest.
What enthusiasm. Have you ever thought of a career in the police force?
Have I thought about it? It's my dream. And I'm going to try my chance once this establishment closes down. I'm studying hard for the examination to get into police school.
Die Gefangenen.
Tell me about the prisoners, Warden James.
We only have a few. As you might be aware, the days of this place are numbered. Therefore, we no longer receive new prisoners. Those who are already here are among the most dangerous in London. We have 3 at the moment. Hans the Rat Killer and the Flint Brothers.
The Flint Brothers?
Yes, 2 rather simple-minded maniacs who detest one another despite their relation. They massacred their parents and decapitated their neighbours. It took more than 9 policemen to overpower them.
Oh yeah.
There isn't any information on the notice board. Should there be notes about duties?
Yes, there should be, but Miss Patterson hasn't put up the guard's assignments for this week yet. It's not like her. Usually she does it first thing in the morning. Without these instructions, the guard in the basement won't be changed. I would go and get them, but I don't want the director to catch me there. He's very strict. Doesn't like us wandering around when we're on duty. And it will get his daughter in trouble. He's not being very pleasant with her at the moment. I don't want to make things worse.
Lass das schmecken.
Der übertriebene Knoblauchtipp.
Stop you from ensuring the watch.
Die Gäste Pepperoni.
Because of the system of opening the doors, Mr. Evans. As you can see, they are equipped with a mechanical timer which answers to a code. When the timer stops, that is to say at the end of each watch, the doors block automatically and the code is reset. It is therefore impossible to open the doors without the new code.
And who has the code?
Only the guard who takes the new watch. He's the only one who can open the envelope that it's kept in. He learns it by heart and destroys the message.
Very clever. But let's look at the limits of this procedure. One false note and the system falls apart.
Ich will gleich mal was gucken. Der Typ hat einen ähnlichen Namen wie der mich dauerhaft falsch redet. Schön, dass man das auch noch alles live hört. Live. Geil. Live.
These weapons are obviously ready to use in case of emergency.
Ich höre mal kurz zur Sekretärin, vielleicht bekommst du einen Schichtplan.
Anything else, gentlemen? Anything else, gentlemen?
Scheinbar doch nicht. Watson, sie stehen im Weg. Dabei habe ich gedacht, ich könnte endlich mal ein Spiel spielen, wo sie nicht im Weg stehen. Ah ja, Dreieck. Briefe. Von Farley. Also kann ich jetzt nicht darunter gehen. Oh, doch kann ich. Die Tür ist offen. Oh, hier ist doch keiner. Da ist keiner. Da ist eine Fliege beim Auge.
Hans Schielman, I require some information from you.
So, who do we have here? The celebrated Sherlock Holmes himself. Do you know that for all the time I have spent rotting in here, you are my first and only visitor? I think this is cause for celebration. A confrontation between two geniuses, two extraordinary minds.
I'm afraid that you are not
Oh, mein Akku ist fast leer.
I will not say that you never were. No, it was certainly
Oh,
But you see, while you are whiling away your days in here, it appears that someone on the outside is at the point of surpassing you, if that is not already the case.
Yes, I heard about that. A chemical poison that eats away at the flesh and provokes hysteria. I recognize talent when I see it, but it's only a matter of time before I win back my laurels. Believe me.
What can you tell me?
That depends on what you can bring to me.
Informationen.
Do you know why I am treated so harshly? For my meals, I am given nothing but a hunk of bread. And even then, not just any sort. The...
Get to the point.
Never interrupt me! Oh yes, the bread. Did you know that with a little rye yeast, a pinch of moss, certain cockroach secretions, just enough light and damp, with a few other ingredients that I will keep quiet about, I succeeded in poisoning half the staff here. Unfortunately, a little something was omitted, which would have made the results fatal. Instead, it merely caused acute attacks of stress and powerful hallucinations. Even so, I got a great laugh out of watching them cry like babies when they saw their most primitive fears materializing before them.
You are a monster, Mr. Shieldman.
You others, you ordinary, narrow-minded people, you are afraid of anything that you cannot comprehend. You call me a monster because what you find impossible to face is just the slightest fraction of my genius. If by monster you mean someone who is nothing like you, then it is a compliment.
Nee, 5 Widerhalter.
What do you need?
Very little. Something to write with. You see my brain races like an engine with too many thoughts. I see them crackle and explode into thousands of formulae right in front of me. What a torture not to be able to write them down. What a hell to see them vanish just as quickly as they appear to me. Just bring me something that I can write with.
That's all. That seems an easy enough request to fulfill.
But listen, I don't want a vulgar inkwell and a pigeon's feather. No, I need material fit for my talent. I want my ink pen. Bring it to me, and I will be happy to pass on to you a little of my knowledge of modern chemistry.
Where is it?
It was confiscated upon my arrival here. I suppose it might be in my locker, in the locker room. Leave me now, and don't come back without my ink pen.
Okay, dann hol ich mal.
Mr. Holmes.
Ich bin neugierig, was passiert, wenn ich nicht geradeaus laufe. Werde ich da von den 2 Brüdern verprügelt? Ach, ich muss mal kurz in die Erfolge gucken. Das ist aber für Gefängnisausbruch. Das Wichtige. Na, steht nicht da, dass ich eine Trophäe dafür bekomme, wenn ich mich nicht töten lasse. So, wo war doch mal der Aufbewahrungsraum? Ich glaube, das war hier. Checkroom. Ja, das ist der Raum. Aber wie komme ich da rein? Mit dem Skalpell? Nein.
I'm glad to have been of service.
Can you tell me where I might find the locker room?
In the corridor that leads to the director's office. That's where the prisoners' civilians stand. But seeing the length of their sentences, they've little chance of ever getting it back.
Can you open the locker room for us? We would like to inspect Shielman's personal items.
No, I'm not responsible for that. You will find the keys in the secretary's office.
See you later, Mr. Holmes.
Hi. Schlüssel im Raum der Sekretärin.
Miss, may we borrow the keys to the locker room?
You'll need authorization from the director to open that door. If you wait a moment, I'll bring you in.
We will wait, thank you.
Anything new, Mr. Holmes? Is your investigation advanced? Have you been able to get what you wanted from our lodger?
Not yet. We must first cast light upon a crucial point, and for that we require your help.
What can I do?
We need to examine Shielman's civilian clothing.
Very well, but be extremely careful.
What do you mean?
In that madman's compartment, you will find a strange little coded case which refused point blank to open and departed. We did try to force it, but without success.
Didn't you ask the experts?
Of course we did. Experts from Scotland Yard came to examine it, but they came to the conclusion that it was better that the case remained shut than tamper with it too much.
I see. They were afraid that some poison might escape if it was opened.
Exactly. Bear in mind that this man is an evil genius, a master poisoner, and that his poisons are never ordinary.
Okay, Schlüssel.
Here's the key to the locker room. I give you the authorization to open it.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Miss Patterson, the guards are still waiting for you to put up the duty list. Do it as soon as possible. Without it, the changing of the guard cannot take place. Or had you forgotten?
Dry your tears, miss. I'm certain that your father didn't mean to hurt you.
Mr. Watson, I can't put up the duty list. And when he finds out, he'll be furious.
Why can't you?
It's in my locker, in the cloakroom, and I've lost the key.
Your aunt.
Say no more, Holmes. As you keep repeating, time is against us. Let's go and look at the things in the rat killer's locker.
Einmal so Spind und einmal dort. Da ist das und hier ist das mit dem Spind.
Closed.
Klappt das?
Closed.
Ja.
The locker room.
Schön, dass es markiert ist.
Here is the locker of our friend, Hans, the mad scientist.
Oh, what a jumble.
Also durcheinander, hier sind nur 3 Sachen.
Paper. A paper knife. This solid box must hold a precious object. Let us see.
As soon as the catastrophe came to be the from
A poem in Hans's handwriting.
AP. 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 Ich habe keine Ahnung von chemische Zeichen.
Blotting paper.
Wenn ich das...
Blotting paper.
Krieg ich
Blotting
das
paper.
zurück? Ah, jetzt.
Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. I can't do... I can't do that. I can't do... Blotting paper. No.
Ich hab...
A poem in
Ich hab
Hans's
doch keine Ahnung von chemischen Sachen. Das könnte Kupfer sein.
Nothing of interest here.
A, P. Oder einfach nur A? A. B, B. B, B. C, B, P. Gibt es nicht. Oder doch? Doch, B, B. C, A. B, B.
A poem.
Ja, stimmt doch, die Lupe. C, A. B, P. Alter. Alles dicke gedruckte, glaube ich. PP. Alarm oder PL. C. PP. PL. Lustig. PP.
Blotting paper. This solid box.
Okay. Ei. Speichern. So, ich würde sagen, ich bedanke mich ganz herzlich fürs Zuschauen und man sieht sich dann beim nächsten Mal wieder. Tschüss.